Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com.
May one give or receive a present on Shabbos? This question comes up quite often in different scenarios on Shabbos, whether it be giving a sefer or other present to a bar mitzvah boy, to a chassan, to a kala, giving prizes to children, whether it's your own children for good behavior, for answering questions by the Shabbos table, or by a Shabbos children's minyan, or children's gathering taking place, or whether simply you want to bring a present to your host, such as a bottle of wine or a bouquet of flowers. So on and so forth of the cases in which a person desires to give a present to another, may it be done on Shabbos. So the good news is that there's no such lamites malacha, thou shalt not give presents on Shabbos. It doesn't exist. What problem then can there be with giving a present? So you see, the sages made a number of rabbinical enactments which regulate and prohibit different actions to be done on Shabbos for reasons that they felt befitting. One of these actions that they prohibited is something called business. You can't do business on Shabbos. You can't buy, you can't sell, you can't make an investment, even if there's no biblical transgressions taking place simply by doing a transaction. And as the Alter Rebbe writes in chapter 261, doing business is one of the severe rabbinical transgressions on Shabbos, as it's received medivrei Kabbalah. Thus the question is, what's the definition of business, and is giving a present defined according to halacha as business, which would be included in the prohibition to be done on Shabbos? So the first who discusses this matter is the Magen Avram in 306 halacha 15 in the name of the Beis Yosef and the Mordechai, who write that it is forbidden to give a present on Shabbos. And the foundation of the prohibition is the prohibition against business. And this ruling is recorded in many of the Poskim, including the Alter Rebbe Shulchanaruch in 306:15, 4449, 448:16, the El Yerabot, Yosef Shabbos, the Mishnah Brura, and many other Achreinim, that it's forbidden to give a present on Shabbos. And the reason given, the Alter Rebbe explains, is because giving a present represents the change of jurisdiction, and now it's going from your possession to someone else's possession, which is directly similar to business, and business is forbidden, as we already explained. There's a discussion amongst the Poskim whether this prohibition is only for the giver or also for the receiver, and the bottom line is that the prohibition applies to both the giver of the present and the person receiving the present. Now, not all Poskim accept this ruling of the Magen Avram. The Beis Meir argues and rules that there's no such prohibition against giving presents on Shabbos, but as we have already stated, the final ruling follows that it is prohibited to do so. Now, are there any exceptions? Is it an all-out, all-inclusive prohibition, or are there cases that we relax the prohibition and allow it to be done? So the good news is that there are various cases of exception in which matanis presents may be given even according to the stringent ruling. One example, as the Alter Rebbe mentions in 306:15, is that food and drink may be given as a present on Shabbos, as it's needed for the day, to be eaten that day, and was not included in the prohibition. The Poskim further extend that any Shabbos need may be given as a present on Shabbos and Yom Tov, even if it's not food and drink, and thus one may give disposable cutlery, Shabbos clothing, Shabbos jewelry to someone as a present on Shabbos for the sake of them using on Shabbos. So is understood from the Magen Avram, the El Yerabot, the Sefer Shabbos, the Mishnah Brura, and other Achreinim, even though it's not explicitly written in the Alter Rebbe Shulchanaruch, who simply writes food and drink. Another case of exception is for the sake of a mitzvah. It's recorded in the Magen Avram, in the name of the Beis Yosef the Mordechai, that a present may be given for the sake of a mitzvah, and so writes the Alter Rebbe in 4449 and 448:16 regarding giving chametz on Pesach to a guy. This is referring to Shabbos that falls on Erev Pesach that falls on Shabbos, and you give it on Erev Pesach before the 6th hour to the Gentile. It's mutter, it's permitted because it's considered a present for the sake of a mitzvah. This, however, seemingly contradicts other rulings of the Alter Rebbe in 2612 and 306:15, and it's beyond the scope of our discussion to enter into this any further. But in summary, it's an accepted custom to follow the ruling we mentioned and to permit giving presents for the sake of a mitzvah. Based on all the information we now have, let's summarize a few practical cases. May one give a bar mitzvah boy a present on Shabbos? The answer is no, unless the present can be used on Shabbos for a Shabbos need. such as you give him a sefer to learn from on Shabbos, and the like. May one give prizes to children on Shabbos? So if the prizes are being given for an educational purpose, then it's considered a tzarich mitzvah, and it may be done, and so is the custom. So you can give prizes by a Shabbos children's minyan, or Shabbos learning get-together in cases of the like. May one give a birthday present to a family member, such as a wife, husband, or child on Shabbos? And the answer is no. It does not fall under any of the cases of allowance, unless the present is a Shabbos need. May a guest bring wine or flowers to his host on Shabbos? So wine can certainly be given, as it's included in the words of the Alter Rebbe, food and drink for the sake of Shabbos. And even flowers may be given as per the extension of the poskim that all Shabbos needs are allowed, and this is also for the sake of Shabbos to beautify the table. Nonetheless, in all cases that the present is not food or drink and is a Shabbos need, since it's unclear from the Alter Rebbe that this is clearly allowed, it's better in these situations for it to be given before Shabbos. We find also in the Achreinim an interesting way of circumventing the prohibition and giving any present you want. The Maria Sad in Shuvah 83 writes that you can give any present you want to someone on Shabbos if you and the receiver have intent not to acquire it until after Shabbos. So I'll give the bar mitzvah boy his present and tell him, have in mind not to acquire it until Shabbos is over. Practically, one should only rely on this circumvention in a time of need, and not use it as a general rule to always give presents on Shabbos. But certainly in the case of flowers and things of the like, one can use this method to circumvent the Isser according to all approaches.
Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com. Our free services of making Torah knowledge available to the public depends on donors like you. Please help us continue our work through making even a small contribution at Shulchanaruchharav.com under the Daily Halacha Dedication section or in the subscription page. Also, check out our online courses and many sefarim available for purchase that will both enhance your Torah knowledge and help support our work.